Susie got tricked into this, just so everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
The down button. This is actually Dean's presentation. So if you don't like it, you can email Dean, brokerdean@gmail.com. So he kind of wanted to go over, we're going to start. This is Dan. And there is a video. If somebody who knows how to do videos can start that.
On the next slide.
He said it's embedded in it.
Oh, there.
Hi, Dan Swisher here. I live in Westminster, Maryland. I'm a follower of Jesus, father of 3, husband to Suzanne, who also has 3 adult children. We blended families in 2001 and are now empty nesters. We have our 9th grandchild coming soon. I sustained a traumatic spinal cord injury in 1998. At that time, I was in the mortgage industry. I'm paralyzed from the chest down, and after 16 years of poor circulation in my legs, I underwent bilateral above the knee amputations in 2014. I got into real estate in 2006 and joined Keller Williams family in 2016. I love the KW value system of God first, family, then business. I was very impressed when I heard about KW Cares and the massive assistance they provided so many agents, their families, and disaster relief around the world. I didn't think I'd qualify, much less deserve it. But to my surprise, the grant was quickly approved and I was overwhelmed. It just felt unreal. It lifted this massive financial burden we were facing regarding the purchase of the new mobility van. So along with the KW Cares grant, my market center held a fundraiser, adding over $10,500 to our need. The new van was purchased. I'm back in action and feel fabulous. I'm forever grateful to be part of this family called Keller Williams and will always remain a strong supporter of KW Cares. From my whole heart, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, surprisingly, this is not about KW.
Use kayak to book flights on days that cost less.
This is a great testament, though, to what KW Cares does for the agents. So when you hear us talk about KW Cares, or you have the opportunity to do an automatic deduction on each paycheck, this is a sample of what it goes to. No, you're good. Okay. What Dean wanted to cover about this is Dan, the guy you saw on the video, and he wanted to know what you could tell from Dan. So Dan seems like a very upbeat guy, right? Life happens. I'm sure he probably didn't expect ever to lose his legs or be in that situation. And we all kind of face different challenges at all times. If a negative event happens, has anybody had a buyer back out, a seller back out? Life challenges, right? Things happen. And if we have a negative mindset, things will pop into our head. We often think worst case scenario. We often start doubting, am I a good agent? Am I a bad agent? Are my kids rotten? Am I a terrible parent? We have fear. We have anxiety, depression, disease, and it can lead to decay. Anybody had any of these ever happen? Anybody? Okay. And we're not talking about depression or medical conditions. That way we want to be upfront about that. We're talking about the power of mindset and going a different direction. So now life happens. Again, things still happen. But if you have a positive attitude, an abundance attitude, a friendly mindset, you can go a different direction. You have best case scenario. Everything will work out. You have faith, hope, enthusiasm, excitement, momentum, and you can get wellness. Does anybody want to go down this path instead of the other path? Right. So Dean kind of wanted to just talk about like a growth mindset where you can go. He did get this model, he said, from Tony Child. And when something happens, you get a thought based off of that. And that's where you have the choice. Our natural instinct as people, we're going to jump to doubt, fear, anxiety, kind of immediately. That's just what happens. That's who we are. Our thoughts lead to our feelings, lead to our energies and action. So we want to, at that point, take control of our thoughts and kind of shift over to more of an abundance type feeling. Does anybody offhand have something that comes to mind that they do to make this shift happen?
So one of my first things is what I call the pause button. And just reminding myself that I don't have to obey my thoughts, that I'm not my thoughts. And so I just try to take a step back and then breathe deeply. And I think, okay, so what's the silver lining in it, And so what would I rather be thinking about? What would I rather see it as? That's what I do.
So one of the things I've started to do is, I always worry a lot about the future, and that can be overwhelming, right? Because it's so unknown. But instead of saying, what if this negative thing happens, I've started to say, even if this negative thing happens. And it's a complete mind shift.
Sneak this way.
Thank you. I really love that Keller Williams focuses on first God, then family, then career. Today's my day 90, and thank you. But I expected to be really killing it by now. I haven't received a single commission check. I have worked easily 40 hours a week for the last 90 days. I've put a lot into it, and I know it's going to come, and that's fine. But I burned out and crashed. And I think the reason is because I didn't have that in order. I put my career first before God and before my kids. And I'm stepping back. I have time blocked in God and kids, family, right? And I'm having more balance. And I love that, Keller Williams does that. But I think that, this path to wellness and growth, momentum, all of that definitely comes from having balance.
And I think that is important. Sometimes we even God being outside of ourselves, but also understanding that spiritual connection is so important and being able to take the time for that. I think there's once we're aligned spiritually with ourselves and higher being, whatever that looks like, you'll gain energy from it. So for me too, is just 100% focusing on that gratitude. And first thing in the morning, I think it's so important to get through my gratitude. And then the next step, sharing it. Like, don't walk into work without sharing to somebody else why they're important to you or what they did that impacted your life. And I think it changes your world.
James back here.
I think something to bring into perspective too is the environment. it's hard to have positive thoughts, feelings, or energy when your environment is negative and it's the opposite. So I know with me, if I want to go to the gym or like get in that, like, okay, I need to exercise, take care of my body, I need to be in a place where everyone else is doing that. Or even I just need to set aside the time and be intentional about my time. And it's the same with real estate. Like if I want to get more listings, get more clients, it's like I need to be intentionally at the office, or I need to be intentionally around clients. Like you have to be so intentional about your environment.
I would agree. And I think you can feel the energy. That's another thing, is the energy. Just like you said, when you come into the office or a team meeting, there's a certain energy, there's a certain buzz that happens. I don't know if anybody's been to other brokerages or not. I just left one a few months ago before I came over here, and it was just a completely different energy. You would go in, nobody was in the office. If you ran into anybody, they were like, I hate my job. I hate what I do. It was not energetic at all. Wasn't very fun. So definitely energy. And I love your guys's ideas. I just finished a book. Maybe some of you have read. It's called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. And it is all about asking yourself questions. So for example, let's say worst case scenario, you had a buyer that you'd been helping and you've just busted your tush. We'll use Dean's word, busted your tush. And you've just been working really, really hard for them. They close and they tell you how unhappy they are and that they won't refer you. Your immediate reaction is probably going to be a little bit of doubt, fear. You might get defensive. You might get a little angry, a little upset. And if anybody has had this happen, one of the things you can ask yourself is, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What might have they wanted that they didn't get? And start thinking from a different direction. And then go internally. What am I missing? What am I avoiding? Do they have a point? Did I not communicate efficiently? Did I not send them what they wanted? Did I not go over what I could have? How else can I think about this? Is another great question. What can I learn from this? Has anybody had that happen? And after reviewing a few of these questions, you've redone your marketing or you've redone your communication style. Maybe you hired a transaction coordinator to make sure that your timelines and that your communication is effective that way. Or even the other question, like what else is possible? Maybe you thought you were at one level and there is more possibility. And I think Angie had a great lead in to this next section. Dean's big thing is gratitude. So he did share with me that he has been talking to his daughters. He's trying to nightly. Nobody's perfect, right? But they communicate at the end of the day. They all share 3 things that they are thankful for and that they are grateful for in the day. He also shared a story with me that his daughter came and told him that she wrecked the car for the 4th time. He said, I told her, I am so grateful, honey. And I said, oh, that's kind of nice, Dad. But his thought process was, I am grateful because you are telling me about it, which means you're okay. You're standing in front of me telling me about it, which means everybody else is okay. And now we can just move forward with what we need to in fixing the car. So looking at things again from a different perspective and moving forward with gratitude. And then Angie, what is the name of the book that you check in morning? Like just the daily gratitude one? Do you remember? Yeah. Oh, no, that's fine. We'll get that one for you. Yes. And maybe we'll do a book club. Yes. Anyway, Dean, just wanted to again, that gratitude is a choice, and mentally shifting from one direction to the next direction. And I'm going to read this so I don't mess it up. It says, Dean mixes church and state. Christ said, I am come, or I have come, that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. So whether you believe, again, whatever your beliefs are, universe, God, that direction, that's from him. And one of my favorite things that I'm going to share with you that I do, like if I have a kind of a bad day, at the end of the day, I always ask myself, what did I do today that I'm proud of? And that just really shifts my mind. And then of course we have the reticular activator. If people remember that, if you're going to buy a red car, a red Corvette, you're going to start driving around and you're going to see a red Corvette everywhere you go, right? Because now you're searching for it. So in thinking that, what am I proud of today? Is that's my mind searching, and hopefully tomorrow and the next day and the next day I find more of that. So, and that's it. That's Dean's presentation for you today.
Let's see, there we go. We'll wrap up a few minutes early this morning, but happy to as well, two things. I want to share a little bit about tomorrow. For any of you who's coming to the Zoom for the wealth building tomorrow. Okay, so this is specific to agent investors. And one thing that's super important here at KW is we talk about consistently that there's 3 pillars that we focus on. What are those 3 pillars? Life, business, and wealth, right? Those 3 things are the ones that we focus on. And one of the realities is there's a lot of money beliefs or money habits that people have adopted over time through their life circumstances, through association, through their family's belief systems, through just a lot of different methods. And one of the important things that is such a vital key is raising our financial thermostat, and it comes through repetition. And so I know we talk quite a bit about wealth building here at KW, and it's because we don't want you to have to go the traditional route if you don't want to, of working until you're 65 and then taking some sort of subsidy plan, right, as far as in your retirement, that's not going to actually provide the lifestyle that you want. What we want to help you do is create long-term wealth to where if you're in real estate for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever that timeline looks like, you're able to step out and still have passive income that pays you for all the work you did during the time you were in real estate. And so part of that is that there's different models you have to deploy in your life to be able to build that wealth foundation. And so tomorrow, it is very specific to some of the strategies that you can start get going on, and especially knowing what time of the economic season we're in today, okay? We are in a very different market than we were 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, I would scream, buy everything and anything you can get your hands on, right? And right now it's very more strategic. I'm still saying to buy, but with very specific parameters. And you have to know what to look for, how to be able to analyze a property to determine if it's a good buy or not. And so we'll be going through that. I'll be sharing my spreadsheet that I use to analyze deals, but also just some other wealth building principles. So 10 a.m., it will be about probably 75 minutes. So we'll probably go for 10 minutes or about till 11:15, just to answer any kind of questions that pop up. But please be on Zoom. We'll send that out with the email today, so you'll see that there. But any questions as we wrap up team meeting today? Okay, sweet. Susie, thank you for still on the show. Awesome, appreciate it. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.